boxed in world where we can feel like, why is the world the way it is? Why can't I just be? And you feel like so cramped in, so boxed in all the time, stuck, frustrated. It's these understandings and reframings and different lenses and perspectives that you can adopt that can set you free from all of that. It's raining outside, so we're in the Subaru, and in this video I have a real thinker that if you have a few minutes to invest in digesting the content I'm about to share, I believe it could open the door to great liberation in your life experience and help you unlock new paradigms, new perspectives, and honestly, a whole new energetic state. So let's dive into it. So with this storm that's happening around us, last night we had a power cut for around 3.5 hours. And in that space that it created, where many systems were offline, I had time to think. And as you can probably tell, I like to ponder in life. I like to think deeply about very daily occurrences and analyze them and assess them. It's just what I like to do, and I think there's great healing and growth and external tangible benefits to living that way. But as I was thinking last night, I was like, who am I without the grid? Who am I without that? And on the first level of analysis, I was thinking about how reliant I am on the grid. And I was thinking that the systems I have in play are okay without grid power. For example, I have a solar battery, I have solar panels, which I know in the summertime can power a level of beingness in this reality which I'm okay with. It doesn't give me access to power tools or the internet consistently. I could have it on and off. It's only a small battery, but I know that I could do that. And I was thinking about food. I'm growing a garden this year, but it's nowhere near harvest. So without the grid, I'd essentially be, I'd be in real trouble. I'd probably make it work. I'd have to shoot rabbits or something. But I'm pretty reliant in that way. And if it was winter time, I'd be almost certainly reliant. That's why we moved back on grid, because living off grid in the winter is, especially here in the Midwest where it gets like a minus 1,000 degrees, it's really difficult. So on that first level of analysis, I was like, man, I am really reliant on the grid. And it's a strange paradox, isn't it? Because it's like you kind of don't want that to be true, but at the same time, you're okay with it being true because the grid is a great thing. And I think that the world kind of glorifies self-sufficiency and this and that, but self-reliancy, it's difficult, it takes a lot of work. But I know that I'd have time in the summer to survive without the grid, and in time through my life, I'm going to be increasing my self-sufficiency, which excites me. So I wanted to ask you the question of where would you be at in terms of self-sufficiency and reliancy if the grid just went out? And is that important to you? Because nobody can say right or wrong, and there's the whole preppers thing where people live their whole entire reality as if the grid is going to go down, and that's just how they live. That's the lens that they live through, and that's obviously fine. But I just was encouraging you to think about that and think about if you need to change any of that, because maybe it would be beneficial for you to become a little bit more self-sufficient, because there's great skills and there's also a level of gratitude that comes from understanding how difficult it is to live in the way we live without the grid. Because again, it's easy to demonize the grid. I did that for a few years, but the grid's a great thing. The power is great. I love it. Thank you. So that was the first level of analysis. But the second level of analysis, I think, is a whole lot deeper. And this is where the thinking really begins. And I want you to really think about this, because this took me many hours of pondering to get the breakthrough. But when it occurred, I was like, whoa, this is liberating. So think about this. If the grid was to go out, if there was no longer a Wi-Fi connection, who would you be? Think about that. If the grid went out, there was no more fiat currency, who would you be? If the grid went out and there was no more social securities, national IDs, whatever it is in your establishment, in your country, all that data was gone, who would you be? Think on that. Who would you be? Because if you take the time, and I don't want to ruin this, I don't want to just give you all the answers, but if you take the time to really digest this as those grid systems dissolve and all of these illusions, these boxes, and everything that is around us that has been created by us, and usually not me, usually other entities, if the grid was to go down and they were to dissolve, behind that veil, behind all of that illusion, you can tune into what you really are. Not what you were told you are, not the box that you were put in. And it's a real thinker. I'm going to leave it there, but I'm going to give you a couple of breadcrumbs to go and investigate. I would encourage you to look into the term legal fiction, because that's really what is being highlighted by the grid going out. But really think on that, and think about who you are other than who you've been told you are. Because you can appear as who you declare yourself to be. And if you get this, it can be truly, truly liberating. So I'm just going to hold a little bit of space, 30-ish seconds, for you to just think on this. Don't leave this video just yet. Well, you can, I don't care, but just think on this. If those systems dissolved, who would you be? Let's think on that. It's very odd, isn't it? It's very odd. But liberating to think that you are who you declare yourself to be. And you operate under a list of rules that you declare are right for you without the grid. And I'm going to leave it there. Let me know if this has awakened anything in you. If you go away and meditate on this and find liberation, joy, peace, please let me know and share this with other people. Share this lineage of thinking, because it's very, very liberating. And in this boxed in world where we can feel like, why is the world the way it is? Why can't I just be? And you feel like so cramped in, so boxed in all the time, stuck, frustrated. It's these understandings and reframings and different lenses and perspectives that you can adopt that can set you free from all of that and unlock a brand new level of energy, because I am who I declare myself to be. I've been Joshua. This has been Unboxable Kings. Our mission is to unbox the king that lives within you, and I encourage you to stay free and continue to live as the king you are meant to be, and I'll see you next time. Much love. Peace.